watching famous Dave on YouTube.
And welcome back to another edition of Let's Play GameStop. And today we're coming in, the markets seem pretty flat as we enter the day here. If I kind of move out of the way here, you can see on my watch list, E-minis here up 5. Gold up 11, 1935 for gold at the moment. NASDAQ up 35. Not a whole lot going on here as we come into another Monday morning. And the action in GameStop over the last 2 sessions has been pretty wild. As we pull up a chart here, I'm going to go to a 5-day chart, and you can see just this huge rip up on Thursday night. They announced that they would be putting to a vote increasing the number of outstanding shares, tripling the number of outstanding shares actually in GameStop to split the stock. And that vote will be happening in mid-June. And on that news, the stock just ripped higher, right? And this was not great news for our position here because we were short something around 200 deltas, the equivalent of short 200 shares. And it just went straight up. It was up like $30 since the close on Thursday, which once again was not helpful to the whole position. Now you can see this is a new recent high here that it reached, and this was once again after the close. It traded something like 1 million shares in the first few minutes after this was announced here, and enthusiasm it shows 400,000 shares at that moment there. That one's I think that's like a 15-minute period right there, which is a lot after the close. And enthusiasm very high on the part of people along this issue. Comparisons being made to Tesla when Tesla split, et cetera, et cetera. Now, we know that as traders, and most of you know this already, this won't be news to you, that a split is a neutral event. It's neither bullish or bearish. It's just kind of readjusting the parameters, right? You're changing the what one share represents or what the stock price represents. So it's neither nor bullish or bearish on its face. However, we do tend to find that in general, when a stock splits, people split stocks when they're going up, right? Stocks don't split when they're going down. It's when the price goes up and they feel that like more people will buy it psychologically if it's at a lower price, right? If you want to buy 1 share of GameStop and the stock is $200, you have to have at least $200 to buy 1 share, right? And so it sounds more attractive if it's actually $5 a share or $20 a share. The second thing is that although a split is neither bullish or bearish, a lot of times a split will drive publicity to a stock, and thus just the news stories coming out and talking about the stock will put it in people's minds, and they'll say, that publicity will make people think about the stock, and sometimes just the publicity of a split makes a stock move higher because more people all of a sudden are focused on that issue and the stock rally. So although the actual mechanics of a split do not indicate a bullish or bearish event, it's neutral event, the announcement of a split and the publicity surrounding a split in the media can make a stock move higher. And I would say on the average, having a split, the day of a split, stocks tend to move higher, although that's not a given at all. And in this case, we saw the stock actually give back the gains that it made after the close, right? You can see the chart behind me here. Yes, we had this big move up, but by the open, it was all but erased. And by the end of the day, the issue was actually down on the day. Now, there could be many reasons for this. And remember, this stock did come from $75. So it has doubled in less than a month. So we're already, so this could be seen as already very much higher than it was a month ago. So, optimistic events have propelled it higher, and you could say that a lot of the good news is out already. So it's hard to say what's going to happen here. My position, once again, I am short this issue, and I'm looking for a return a little bit lower, but not fun for the short. And I was fortunately able to hang in there. I didn't sort of panic, and I just kind of let it ride, and things came back in our favor and kind of worked out by the end of the day. But definitely not fun when Thursday, the stock was rallying for most of the session, and it finally kind of sold off into the close a little bit to basically being unchanged on the day. And then to have it just rip up like 30 points is psychologically tough to handle, when you're committed to a short, right? So that wasn't fun. But we will see where we go from here. Once again, this is a recent high. Let's back up the chart a little bit and see a little bit better perspective here. Let me get out of the way here for a second. And you can see kind of it wasn't a downtrend here, and then we had earnings. Now, they missed earnings pretty badly, but I guess you could interpret it as that like all the bad news was out, and as well as the fact that although they did miss earnings, their revenues were up. So there was a little bit of positive news, and just all this news of this platform and the those buzzwords, crypto and NFTs, have renewed people's interest in this issue. And certainly a lot of people have jumped in here, as evidenced by this doubling in the share price. It's unclear how long we will stay up at this level, but some people are calling for the stock back to 400. In fact, if we look through these news stories, let's see if I can find this news story. There was a news story a couple days ago talking about this issue going back to above 400, the likelihood that, or just the case for this going back to 400. And so if we look through GameStop news here, let's see if we can find that particular news story. Let's break this out of here. So let's see. And although once again I'm personally short this, you may have a different opinion from me, and it's not. You don't have to have the same opinion of me to watch this channel, of course, and many people don't, and many of my followers are, completely have opposite positions from me. But that doesn't mean that we can't all learn something from each other here. And let's see if I can find this. So I'm not finding it at the moment, and I don't want to waste your time with this. But anyway, there was an article a couple days ago talking about how this could go back to the $400 level or higher. Now, for me, I feel like the fundamentals of this company have not changed, and until they actually can prove that they've turned a corner and have new business ideas to propel them forward that are actually going to work, I think NFTs are kind of just buzzwords, and I certainly don't want to buy NFTs. I don't know how you folks feel about them, but the only way people make money is to quickly flip them, but somebody gets stuck holding the bag, and if that bag includes like an ugly picture of a monkey, I don't know why anyone would want to buy that other than thinking that they're going to flip it in a few seconds. But that's just me. So going today, let's look at our actual position here, options position in GameStop, and we can pull that up right here. And essentially, I am long some diagonals. So I'm long the 150 puts a few weeks out, and I am short the 42 and 45 puts against them closer in. So April 22 strike, I'm long the, let's pull this out. You can see this better here. April 22 strike expiration, I'm long the 150 put and the 147 put and the 141 put, and then closer out puts that expire this week, I'm short the 141 and 145 put. So it's basically like a put calendar lower down. So this position works the best if we cruise from here down. If we were to settle right around 145 for the week, then this position will work out the best. So I'm targeting a price in this stock of somewhere around 145 by the end of the week. Whether that will happen remains to be seen. But that's the position we're playing with at the moment. And currently we are collecting $415 a day in decay, and our delta is short 71. So a little bit short, not as short as we have been. Possibly I've decided that instead of paying a bunch of decay to have more short deltas, I would sacrifice a little bit of the short delta. Instead of having 200 short deltas and paying 500 a day, I only have 71 deltas, but I'm collecting 450 a day. So giving time a little chance to kind of give us some decay as we move lower here. My prediction is we will move lower, but I feel like maybe we'll move lower a little bit slower than we moved up. But we'll have to see what happens. If we stay in this spot, we'll do okay. If we move a little bit higher, we'll do okay. If we move a little lower, we'll do okay. The only time we don't do okay is if it rips to the upside. But it's kind of where we are in Let's Play land right now. Overall, that whole move up to 200 and back down, we didn't lose any money. We were short deltas the whole way, but we didn't end up losing any money because the stock came back. So that was great to survive that, because it wasn't looking good with the stock trading 203 on Thursday night, and I wasn't too happy then. But was able to hang in there, and everything came back for us, and it worked out okay. So that's great. People have had some questions about UVIX. Now, UVIX now becomes the most levered VIX product at 2 times levered. Now, UVXY used to be 2 times levered, but it got nerfed to 1.5 times levered. So now UVIX is the most levered VIX product, and I think we will see some paper driven to there. Let's take a quick look here at the options that traded in this one, because options started on Friday. So if we go to UVIX here, we can look at the options and see what kind of open interest we have so far from the first day. And you can see not a whole lot of open interest. We've got here May, like the biggest strike is 29 contracts here, but it's just starting out, right? But here, the first day in April, 600 at the money calls traded, 200 at the money puts traded. You know, it's small, but it is trading a little bit, which is great. And I anticipate this trend to continue just because, once again, this is the most levered product. So in people's minds, although this is all adjusted with option pricing and stuff, in people's minds, this is the most bang for the buck. So, and let's take a look also at volume in the stock here. And so if we look at this by day, let's see. So we traded 273,000 shares on Friday. Thursday we traded 282,000 shares, and Wednesday we traded 234,000 shares. So you know, I believe this will build from here. And this will become a viable product. I think it's encouraging the first day. You know, single listed stocks. This is encouraging volume, I believe, for the first day of this one here. Let's see if it will give us a statistic from options here. No, it reset from the day before, but I think this is encouraging here. Just small amount of options trade, but that's just the first day, right? We expect, when we're looking at options volume, we expect that the options which expire the soonest would have the most volume, and indeed that's the case here. We see the most out of the money calls being traded, which is typical for a product like this. This is a true lottery ticket of if the market's going to crash. The most out of the money call here would be the lottery ticket, right? You would buy one of these calls thinking, oh, if the market crashes, this option is going to explode in value. And we see that happening even on the first day. To look at the skew here, there's going to be a skew here to the upside in implied volatility. And indeed, if we look here, we can see that the higher priced options here, 269, the farther side of the money calls at the money 169, and the skew moves to the downside. These numbers are wacky because the markets are no bid here, way out of the money for puts, but you can see here also skew to the upside, the higher out of the money calls having a higher implied volatility than the at the money, and then the out of the money puts having a lower vol, because the reason for this is because markets tend to crash down and VIX products tend to crash up. So if there's going to be a spike, it's going to be to the upside. It tends to move slower when moving to the downside, thus you have the skew here. And this just mirrors this is just a mirror image of the skew that exists in the SPX. And so there you have it. We'll see what happens from here with volume, but I think this is a good sign of a good start for this product, what we're seeing here as far as volume figures. All right, well, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next Let's Play. You know, all those YouTube things, like subscribe, blah, 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 and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.